Hey everyone, so I'm on the front deck today and I'm doing something that I have been waiting to do for a few days now, and that is to cover this flower cart in flowers. So I'll take you around and show you the cart and what I'm going to plant in just a second, but I got this cart last year from Deer Park Ironworks. I don't think they have the brown anymore on the site, but it's also sold at like Walmart, Home Depot, I think Amazon, so I'll link down below if you're interested. I do like this cart. I think it's definitely something that's more decorative. I do store pots on this, and if I put too many pots, like the shelving on it can start to bow a little bit, so I don't think you'd want to use it for like a lot of storage, but for something pretty in your garden, it's absolutely perfect. So last year I planted some different flowers on it. I kind of learned what works and what doesn't, and this year my plan is to almost make it look like a flower cart at like a farmer's market where they're actually selling you different types of flowers. So there's not going to be any sort of cohesion. I'm putting all of the beautiful plants on there that I want, and I am really excited to start planting because I wanted to plant this for a while. I ran out of soil, as I typically do, because you'll buy however many bags of potting soil you think you need for your containers, and then you realize one bag of soil fills like 2 pots and you need a lot more than you thought. So I was putting the flowers kind of in the positioning, and the pots in the positioning, and then I finally went back and got some more potting soil. So now I can actually get everything here planted. So let me take you around and show you what the cart looks like. I'll talk through what I'm going to plant, and then we'll actually get everything planted. Here is my flower cart. So we are on the front deck, which faces west, and this is on the east side of the west deck, which means it doesn't get sun until about, I'd say 12:30 to 1. It's around 11 right now, and this is where the sun is at so far on the deck. So this gets about, I'd say, 5 to 6 hours of very intense afternoon sun before it starts getting blocked by the trees out front. So I need plants that can handle that. Unlike that fern that's hiding in the shade that I had out here last year and quickly learned this is not the right environment for it. So like I said, the cart itself is from Deer Park Ironworks. I had it in the same exact spot last year, but this year I'm planting it up a little bit differently. Something I learned is that there really is no point with the way that I plant this in planting anything back like behind the front here. So like nothing back where those 2 terracotta pots are, because I like to grow morning glory up it. So this morning glory, if everything goes to plan, will cover the canopy here, which means the only things that are really going to get sun is anything near the front. So everything is going to be either on the ground in front of the cart or forward on the cart. Now let me show you what I'm planting. And again, no sort of cohesion, just throwing everything together. But these 3 plants right here are going to go in the flower box, and then I'm going to set it right in front. So I think the width here, or the length of the flower cart, is 40 inches. So I just looked on Amazon for a flower box smaller than that, and this was either 30 or 36 inches maybe. So in it I'm going to put 3 of the petunias, although one's a mix, and these are from the Ball Horticultural 2024 plants that I'm trialing, that I've just showed you. So here, from left to right, I'm going to do the Sweet Sunshine Magenta Sky. This one is the mix, so this is the Trixie Romance in Bloom. And then this is the Raspberry Cheesecake. So I am really excited to see how these turn out together in that flower box. Then coming down here, I have these 2 pots, and I think in this taller gray one, I'm just going to do one of the Super Bells Double Redstone. I think this might be a new for 2024, or maybe not. I'll list down below all the plants that I'm planting, which ones are available now and which ones aren't. I know I just went through the list, but I've looked at all these names so often that I can't really remember which ones are for sure 2024 and which ones aren't. So that one will go in that gray pot by itself. In this dish, I'm either gonna do 1 or 2 of the Supertunia Saffron Finch. Now, I don't know if I should stick to in there and just go for it, because it's not the tallest pot. I mean, it's wide, not very tall, you know, and I think I'm gonna do it, and if I need to pull one, I can pull one and move it somewhere else. So again, this is the Supertunia Saffron Finch. 2 of them in there, a really, really pretty yellow color. In this pot, I'm going to do 2 of the Super Bells Double Ruby. To me, I knew I wanted to put these flowers in a terracotta pot because it just looks like, I mean, clearly they're not roses, they are Super Bells, but they just look like tiny little deep red roses, and I love the idea of them spilling over a terracotta pot, especially one that is, you know, a little weathered. So that's what's going in there. And then I have this brown pot, which I think is maybe 16 inches in diameter, and this I'm going to just shove a bunch of flowers into. I don't know if I'm going to go with the 4 that I have or add a 5th, potentially. So the 4 plants that I have so far for this pot, and again, I might add a 5th, we'll see how I feel after planting, but the first one, and kind of the star of the show, what will be the thriller, is this Proven Winners Luminary Prismatic Pink Phlox. This is actually a perennial. Let me see if it says the zones on the back. Perennial, hardy in zones 3 to 8, so definitely a perennial for mine, and because it's a zone 3 and I'm a zone 6A, it's low enough below my zone that I could probably overwinter this in the container just fine. So I think that's going to be my plan for over the winter. I might, however, move it down to the parkway. So the reason it's not in the parkway right now is this wants full sun to part sun. My parkway was basically like part shade to mostly full shade until the city trimmed a tree. So now there are parts of my parkway that I think would definitely be considered part sun. So I might move this down next year, but I'm not sure yet. So this year it's going up here. I also kind of want to try more perennials in pots, so maybe I'll love it up here enough and just keep it. So this will get about 32 to 34 inches tall, and it's going to have, it's starting right now, but it's going to have blooms that look almost like the Supertunia pink bubblegummy color, so I'm excited about that one. So that's probably going to go like in the back here. Then I'm going to do 1 Gomphrena. This is the Gomphrena Truffula Pink. If you've been here for a while, you know my love of Gomphrena. This is actually the first time I'm growing Truffula Pink in my garden is this year. All of the other Gomphrena I've gotten from seed from Johnny's Seed, and then I got another one from somewhere else that I can't remember. This isn't the only place I'm going to grow this in my garden, but I'm definitely going to pop one in here. If it's not obvious, I don't think I said it, I'm going to make all this container like different shades of pink. So this one is going to get about 22 to 28 inches tall, so I'm using this kind of like a filler in my container. This is obviously going to be an annual for me. Probably going to put it right, or do I want it over here? I don't know. We'll play around with the arrangement once I go through everything. Then I have another of the Mix Masters. So this was from the Ball Horticultural set that they sent out. This is the Mix Masters Serendipity. See if I can remember what's in it. So it's the Calibrachoa Cabaret Bright White, Calibrachoa Cabaret Bright White, Neon Rose, and Strawberry Parfait. So that is what is in here. This is definitely going to be the spiller. So I'll put that somewhere near the front, and let's not lose the tag, as I tend to do. And then I have the Superbena Sparkling, is it Rosé? I guess it is Rosé. I've been calling it Rose this entire time and then just noticed the accent above the E. So this must be Superbena Sparkling Rosé. This will get 6 to 12 inches tall. So I think because it's shorter, it makes more sense to go on this side so it doesn't block the cart. But it's also going to have pink, like very light pink flowers, but also darker pink petals on those flowers too. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. Now, if I put this here, I feel like there's room for another one. I mean, I can fit one more in there, right? Okay, so if I do 5, my choice for the 5th is going to be the A Romance Pink Nemesia. This one is going to get 10 to 18 inches tall, so just a little bit taller than this one. Again, this is 6 to 12, 10 to 18. So I could tuck that in right behind it. I feel like I should go for 5. I know that 4 will fill it out. I mean, honestly, 3 would probably fill this out fine, but again, if it gets too overcrowded and something doesn't look happy, I can pull it out and replant it elsewhere, but this is what we're going to go with for the combination in this pot. So one thing I'm not sure about yet is if I'm going to put that morning glory into that brown plastic pot. So last year I had 2 morning glories in here. I'm only doing 1 because 2 is too much for just 1 pot. But I'm thinking maybe have one growing up the other side too? Maybe? We'll see. I'm not 100% sure for that, so maybe I'll get everything else planted and then see what I want to do. And the last thing I'm going to do, which I just realized this morning I definitely should do, is put hanging baskets on it. So I mentioned this in my video going through the plants that I have a couple that I think will work really well for hanging baskets, but I didn't really have a place to hang hanging baskets. I did hang one here last year, like in the center, almost like a chandelier, but that, I mean, it was full shade. It didn't do great because it quickly got covered by the morning glory, but I think I'm gonna hang it like on the outside now, hang 2 of them. So I have 2, I got them last year from Amazon. I don't remember the brand name off the top of my head, but I will link down below. But it comes with 2 of the metal baskets, 2 of the Coca-Cola liners, and then 2 plastic liners inside of it with a drainage hole. What it also comes with, that I think I forgot about because I just left these in the box, is anchors. So if I wanted to anchor this in, I could. I don't know if I have anywhere to anchor it in. So we have, I think you can kind of see like the slats or the siding on the wall is curved like that. And I think this would have to go on 2 of them. So I could maybe do it like right here. But I don't think I really like that. I think it would get in the way of the door. So I'm gonna not use these, even though the kit comes with it. I'm just gonna use the hanging baskets on the edge. And what I'm gonna plant in there then are the 2 that are perfect for hanging baskets. So this is the passion fruit lantana. Again, this is a new for 2024. From, this one was Ballflora, right? Yep, that one was Ballflora. And then the other one from Ballflora, the lantana shamrock. So those are each going to go in their own baskets because the baskets aren't very large. I'm going to contain myself to 1 plant each. So now the most exciting part is to get everything planted. So happy and excited. It looks so pretty. I also feel like I need to add more, but I know those are going to fill in, so I'm restraining myself. A few things I wanted to mention before I take you up close that I forgot to mention before is that 1, I'm using this continuous release plant food specifically for flowers. I do plan to get on a weekly fertilizing schedule and use a liquid fertilizer for flowering plants on these, but I'm adding this too just in case I forget one of those weeks, which tends to happen, especially as it gets busier in the summer. There is some plant food in there. This is my first year using this. I don't know if I'll be able to like tell the difference, but I'll let you know. Also, I did have soil in the containers, and then I added purple cow compost on top as like a little mulchy type layer. I have a few different composts. They've all worked equally as well. Purple cow's just the one that I had on hand, and now I emptied out that bag. So I think that's everything I wanted to mention. Let me go show you how everything looks. All right, this is what it looks like right now. Like I said, it still seems like there's a lot of bare places, at least to me, but I know this will be covered in flowers soon. I do plan to add like my terracotta pots back there for storage, but just for right now, I wanted to show off how all the flowers look. So we'll come up here first. Again, these are the 3 new for 24 petunias and mix. I think those will grow really nicely. I'm expecting everything to grow, since this is where the sun's gonna go, this way, so that is the plan. Hanging baskets are getting a little bit more sun. I do feel like right now, the card itself looks a little bit like bottom heavy, but once the top is completely covered in the leaves, it'll look a bit more balanced. At least I'm thinking, but I can always move stuff around later if I want to, once it's all filled in. So over in the hanging baskets, I think this turned out really well. I really wanted to put these in hanging baskets just because I think the shape looks so nice for these to be in hanging baskets and not in containers. What was the variety? I think I put all the tags in here. That is one thing I'm trying to do better this year, is make sure I have the tags in. So this one is the, was it passion fruit? Yeah, the passion fruit lantana. And obviously this one is in bloom a lot more than the other one. I absolutely am in love with these blooms. Anyways, the basket on the other side, so this one was the shamrock lantana variety. No blooms right now, but starting to open up a little bit. Then on the bottom here, I have the 2 super bells. So there's 2 in this plant, or 2 in this planter, 1 just in this pot. And then I did go ahead and put both of the Supertonia saffron Frenches in here. Like I said, we'll see how 2 do. If it seems like the container's too small, I will pop one out and put it somewhere else. Then we have this container, which not everything is in bloom, but I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I think I got this on camera, but something I was surprised about and we'll keep an eye on is how small this root ball was. So it was in like a 4-inch cup, but the root ball still looked like the size of whatever plug it was growing in, which was very, very, like maybe an inch wide. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Obviously still need to water it in, see how it grows, and just make sure that hopefully that stays in that container. And then I had the other plants back here. Also, I did go ahead and plant this morning glory. I'm not going to put a trellis on this one like the other one because I think I want this one to start around. It's not quite grabbing yet, but they tend to be pretty good at grabbing onto what they're supposed to. So I'll just keep an eye on it and hopefully train it up this side of the cart. And just another front shot. I'm seriously so happy about this year. I definitely took what I learned last year and hopefully made some improvements for this year. So that's going to be everything for this video. I think I've said a million times that I'm excited, but I really am to have that all filled up. It's really fun for me to add vertical space here too, so that everything's not on the deck. So that's why I like the elevated beds. I like the flower cart, anything that can just add a little bit of height. And I hope that this turns out just as beautiful as I imagine. Obviously, I'll keep you updated on how it goes throughout the season. I'll let you know if there's anything that I have to adjust or swap in and out. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you in the next video.